Okay guys, emergency episode of the show because Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce just broke the internet with their engagement announcement, and I have a few reasons why you need to care, even if you're a guy, even if you are not a Swiftie. So for some context, some recap, just a few hours ago, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, they did a collabed post on Instagram. They posted photos from the proposal. They said your favorite English teacher and your favorite gym teacher just got engaged. It was very sweet. Everything's lovely. The ring is beautiful. We'll get into that later. That's not part of the cultural conversation, but if you're interested in that, I do have some details. Anyway, they announced this and the world just exploded. Like, the internet came to a screeching halt. I was seeing posts on X from people being like, oh my God, Fox News just cut away from a cabinet meeting to say Taylor Swift is officially engaged. This is how big it is. And I made the joke on X and I said, if there was ever a time for a politician to release a—
You know what I feel like right now? Sometimes you'll see like a Twitter post from like Pop Icon or whatever, one of those accounts, right? And it'll be like Smeagol Bork is getting a divorce from, or is no longer dating Pumperdink, and you're like, who the f are these people? And then you like look into it a little bit, and they have like 17 million loyal followers or whatever, and you're like, I am so not tapped into whatever is going on here. That's kind of how I feel about this stuff. And what's worse is like, this is the normie sphere. This is the kind of like world-changing incident for so many, if not billions of people around the planet, seemingly, that I am so not invested in, where I feel like I'm just not normal. I think I'm abnormal. Because what is normal? If it's like the overwhelming majority interest and you don't care about it at all, and you can't get yourself to be enthusiastic about it, then like maybe we're the abnormal ones, you know? That's how I feel. I'm like, what is going on? Like the intensity in which people are covering this news story as though this is like a world-changing event is legitimately a story in and of itself. Yeah, we are the closest we will ever be to coworker internet. Okay, this is it. This is like you got whole ass adults that work for CBS News, you know, like people that went to school, studied journalism, people that have, you know, icons that they want to be like, that have gone all around the world and have manufactured consent for the American State Department, done it all, losing their shit at the prospect of Taylor Swift being small girl with Travis Kelce, which is big boy. Fox News cut away from Trump to cover it is an insane statement. Like, it's not like Iran is striking Tel Aviv. You know what I mean? Like, it's just Taylor Swift getting engaged. And the very fact that people are this locked into it and this tapped into it, like, this is a tremendous world-changing event for so many people. I don't know. It just confuses me a little bit. It makes me feel like people are desperate for a sense of community and they're just never going to reach it from anything else. So they're hyper invested in this kind of stuff because it takes away from the monotony of daily existence and the cruelty that they withstand under the structural violence of poverty. And for a brief moment, they get to feel like something good is happening in the world. I don't know. Maybe it's not that deep at all. Maybe I'm reading too into it because I see like the level of reaction. There's also a sense of pageantry associated with this. I feel like some people, in an effort to be a part of something bigger than themselves, act as though they are super excited because that's the expected reaction, which in and of itself feeds back into that cycle of almost like mania that people are collectively experiencing. Because they see, like, you know, grown ass people behave like this and they go, oh my God, it is a big deal. I should also think this is a big deal. Because like anytime Taylor Swift does anything, it's just like CBS News, Good Morning America, NBC, everyone is covering it. And I'm always like, what is going on? But yeah, my analysis here isn't necessarily about the incident, the engagement in and of itself, but more so the way that we look at celebrity worship and the way that we cover these sorts of things in mainstream news.
Story to the press that they don't really want to get any traction on. If they want to like quietly release everything they know about Epstein, now would be the time because nobody else cares. Every single brand, every single mainstream media outlet, every single, publication, everybody, including myself, is focusing on Taylor Swift. That is how massive this is. Sorry guys, I can't even speak. There is so much going on. But you have like Buffalo Wild Wings, you have Culver's, like all of these random restaurants and big corporate accounts tweeting, being like, we'll cater the wedding, we'll cater the engagement. Like everybody is 100% focused on this. And I think that this is, for a couple of reasons. Number one, Taylor Swift is like the biggest pop star in the entire world right now. You have women that care about her and that are interested in her and her marriage and her engagement. Travis Kelce is also wildly famous and popular around, American men, people who care about football. Alex and I were eating lunch. He picked up his phone and his fantasy football app had literally been like, guys, special announcement, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got engaged. So it is literally everywhere. But also I do think that this speaks to a broader conversation about love and marriage in 2025, specifically on the topic of forever boyfriends, because Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift just got engaged after 2 years of dating. And that might seem like normal in the grand scheme of things, but in 2025, when you go on social media and you see girls that have been with their boyfriends for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, that are still waiting on an engagement, that are these like forever girlfriends, this kind of relationship can seem like an anomaly. And Taylor Swift basically just blew up that entire idea that you have to be a forever girlfriend in order to get the ring. That is just not true. Because if we think about her previous relationship with Joe Alwyn, she was with that man for 7 years. And there have been rumors that she was like actually engaged to him, but it was really private, but he was this like artsy, like deep actor, all of these things. He like desperately wanted.
I want to point something here, out here as well. This is not my take either. Okay. I feel like this is too woke. This is the one friend who's too woke. Agree. It's super weird to be worried about the fascist takeover of our country, to give a fuck about engagement of a man who, like, the first part about this, I kind of agree with. The second part about this, I don't care about. A man who defended his Christian nationalist teammate and woman who refused to use their platform to fight our future dictatorship until said future dictator posted a deepfake AI of her supporting him. I think that's a little bit too woke as well. I will say, like, my assessment here overall is that like there are, really horrible things happening all around us every single day. And I guess like people are desperate for some kind of moment of solace from the evil shit that is unfolding in real time. And I guess that's the reason why they're like desperately clinging on to this, as though it's like a life raft, right? That's how I feel about it. But I do wish that people cared a little bit more about, the fascist takeover that is also happening in broad daylight at the domestic level. Why does Brett think this changes culture with respect to getting married? It's a bit of monkey see, monkey do situation. I think that like she is a influential person. So that's the reason why maybe, 9/11 for every guy with a serious girlfriend in their late 20s. Because then other people are going to be like, well, what about me? Maybe, Taylor Swift got into a serious relationship, and then also Travis Kelce pulled the trigger. It's my time now. What is this? Yeah, this is another version of that story as well. If Taylor Swift gets pregnant, we're going to see a bigger baby boom than after World War II. Yeah, I think like there is, I think people are overemphasizing how much of a societal impact this will have. I will go so far as to say that the real significant hurdle for marriage for many young people in the United States of America as it stands, is not necessarily traditionalist society losing their way and not caring or respecting the institution of marriage anymore. It's just money. That financial hurdle is too hard to overcome simply because Taylor Swift got engaged. Congratulations to Taylor Swift, but it should be illegal to have sex with someone that can't read? Okay, Jesus Christ.
Wanted his privacy, wanted her to hide the relationship. She was like not in the public eye for 7 years straight, and basically dragged her along in that relationship. And I'm not just saying that because I'm speculating, like this is what she wrote about in one of her previous albums. In her song, You're Losing Me, she said like, I gave all of my youth for free to you. In So Long London, I believe that she wrote something very similar. Those two lines, sometimes I get confused, but she wrote about this at length, saying like, I gave you all of my great years and you took advantage of that. Like I poured so much into this relationship, just waiting, like hanging on. In So Long London, she writes about like clenching onto the relationship, like white knuckling it, being like, I'm not going down with the ship, I'm not abandoning it. And then 7 years later, getting nothing back and realizing I've just like let my life be on hold and I've been waiting for this person who doesn't want to commit to me. Anyway, that was her previous relationship. She was the forever girlfriend. She moves on. She meets this incredible guy who comes to her concert, who literally has like a friendship bracelet with his number on it, who was publicly making these huge declarations of love, which she said in her recent podcast episode with him and Jason. She was saying,
how is it legal to marry this person? I just gave a squarely a paise of bread and it straight smashed all of it. I had no idea they ate bread like that. Haha, hashtag crazy. I think someone said, just imagine he got 14 more years of brain injuries now. I don't mind that, you know. The fellas can have a little bit of a life-changing brain injury as a treat. That should not take something away from them.
Like this is the kind of love that I've written about for 15 years. Like I've wanted a guy to like show up with a boombox and be like, I love you, I want to be with you. And that's basically what Travis did. And they've had this like amazing love affair over the last 2 years. And now they're engaged, you know.
The very fact that the worst thing you can pull up from 2011 Twitter for a white guy who, you know, gets head injuries professionally, the very fact that that's the worst tweet you can pull up means that Travis Kelce is a saint. I'll say that much. White boys in 2011 Twitter were slinging far worse than feeding squirrelies pieces of bread. Okay, they were slinging something entirely different. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
A fraction of the time that she was in that relationship with Joe Allen. So that's one part of it. So you do not need to be a forever girlfriend if you are in a relationship like that. I'm sure that the guys are like, oh my God, I need to go buy a ring. Girls are rethinking everything, which brings me to the next point of why this engagement is so relevant and important right now. And it's because I don't know if there are any hard studies on this. I don't think that there are, but celebrity relationships and celebrity marriages play a huge role in the cultural tone of an era. Like think about David Beckham and Victoria Beckham and their wedding. Think about...
No, I don't think it's that deep. I think she's trying to turn this into like a right-wing traditionalist pro-marriage argument where she's trying to say like, oh, everyone's going to get married now, that type of shit, right? And I don't think so. Like I said, I mean, will this lead to an increase in engagements? Maybe. But I think that the real hurdle in front of younger people getting married right now is, one, young men are not fucking, okay? They are not. They're moving away from that. That's number one. Number two, everybody's too broke. Everybody's just far too fucking broke. What do you mean? Starting a family? Who's got time or money for that? That's an investment.
You know, Princess Kate and Prince William and their wedding. That was huge. The royal wedding was talked about for years. Just, you know, a couple of years ago, we had Sophia Richie's wedding, which basically made so many women, you know, decide that they wanted to get married and have kids, that they wanted to stop dressing like hoes and be classy. She like ushered in this like quiet, luxury, modest type of fashion. Like these relationships, these weddings, these marriages, they have the power to change culture. And if you think that Taylor Swift getting married, being engaged, being in a long-term relationship is not going to do that, I don't know what to tell you. Like this is the end all be all for women around the world right now. I was about to say women in America, but really around the world right now. And you might think that this is kind of ridiculous, but she is signaling that marriage is something to strive for, that love is worth seeking out, that you
What? Bro, it's just like a normal component. What are we talking about? Like, I feel like these guys believe the hysteria that they cultivate. I'm not even kidding when I say right-wingers genuinely hallucinate an alternative reality, and then they get freaked out by said hallucination. At what point is there a serious initiative to be like, fuck marriage? Like, no, people, they fall in love and they get married is normal. It's like the most normal thing, okay? And then they get divorced. That's also normal in America, especially. Like, this is not like a bold stance that Taylor Swift has taken to relitigate and revitalize the traditional institution of marriage. What do you mean? You made that up. You made the first part up. Yeah, but it's okay to not want to be married and I have relationships. It's like everybody doesn't often get married. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't give a shit one way or the other because I'm not a fucking weirdo. What the fuck?
You should wait for an amazing guy, that you should, you know, follow that institution, and seek that commitment, I guess is why.
Taylor Swift had a sandwich today, reinforcing the institution of lunch. Taylor Swift had a nice little treat in between her lunch, reinforcing that institution too, that treats are good sometimes. It's like, no, it's just like what people do, I'm
trying to say. And so I'll be interested to see what comes from this. I doubt that they're going to do some huge elaborate wedding. I feel like it'll be more of an elopement. I don't think she would, I feel like she would blow up the wedding industrial complex if she tried to do some big kind of wedding. But I think that this marriage really is going to change things. And I think that it is objectively positive. Like, regardless of how you feel about Taylor Swift, like I would not consider myself a diehard Swiftie. I was not like a Swiftie for you.
That's cope. She's literally only saying that because Taylor Swift is like a Kamala Harris booster. She has to keep her right-wing bona fides by being like, oh, I don't even like fuck with Taylor Swift like that. I was like, come on, you're literally losing your fucking mind over this.
Years and years and years, but I do love her music, and I think that she's a really interesting person and a really interesting case study, and she's really important when it comes to our culture. But I do think...
I'm sorry. Dude, every diehard Swiftie unironically says that, including but not limited to QT Cinderella. You started dropping lyrics. Like, you started with lyrical analysis. You're a diehard Swiftie. The fuck?
That this is objectively positive, and what I was trying to say is that even if you are not a diehard fan, you should see this as something that is good. And I know that conservatives like to rag on her. Trump was posting, a couple months ago being like, I ended her, she's irrelevant. No, she's not. Like, love her or hate her, she is incredibly, incredibly influential. She is incredibly popular, and we should be rooting for her to set a good example for women and men around the world. And I think that she is doing that with this engagement, with this marriage. So anyway, I wish her all the best. This was a very exciting thing to spend my day reading about. And then for any of the chicks out there who are interested in her ring, because I was 100% interested in it. It's stunning. It's like very intricate. It looked antique. So I texted our jeweler that made my engagement ring with Alex, who's become a really good friend of ours. That feels like so bougie to say, but he just has become a good friend. And I was like, I need information about this. So according to Oren, that's his name, according to Oren, it is an elongated old mine cut ring, and most likely antique or antique inspired. And he said that it's really rare to have a mine cut that is that big. So just saying, good job, Travis. Allegedly.
Yeah, that's what I say when I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. I panic called my jeweler, who is now my friend, to get additional details about what kind of cut the ring was.
It was like $550,000, which is like literally insane. But also she's a billionaire and he makes however much money from like the NFL and Pfizer. So it is to be expected. Anyway, that is your update about Taylor Swift. Those are the reasons.
She had to throw Pfizer in there.
Why you should care. I think this is good for culture. It is good for society. It is good for young women. This is setting a great example. And also, it just has to be said, for the guys online who say that women like hit a wall at 28 years old, who say you're never going to have kids after 28 or 30, you're never going to have any prospects, you're never going to get married.
Oh, she's getting too woke. She's hold up, cut this part out. That's too woke. You can't be saying that. You're a right-wing commentator. What is this?
Come on. Taylor Swift just got engaged at 35 years old. She is at the top of her career. She is so happy. She is succeeding. She is thriving. She is stunning. She's not hit the wall. So if you are not engaged or married by 28 or 30 or 35, just know you have not hit the wall. It is not too late.
Wait, what do you mean? Okay, never mind. Even her like woke argument still revolves around getting married, as in that's the ultimate goal of every woman. Bro, you're talking about a billionaire. Fuck you mean she hit the wall. She is basically like a deity, okay? In modern day, she is worshipped by half of society automatically. What do you mean? Hey, ladies, if you're 28 and still not married, don't worry, you haven't hit a wall. Your worth is, of course, still measured by whether or not you can secure a man and be a loyal and faithful wife to said man and bear his children. But you can still do that at the age of 28, at the age of 30. It's like, what do you mean? At first, I thought she was going to make a woke argument like you are not measured by your age. Your societal worth should not be matched up with like your capabilities for like child rearing or something. But she's like, nah, it is. It's just you can still do it. Also, the person she's pointing to in this situation is, once again, Taylor fucking Swift. You know, you can still become a multi-billionaire And then you can find a man at the age of 38 or what? I mean, 30, whatever, how old she is. Not 38. I'm sorry. 28 is what she was saying. It's so crazy. It's all busted.
This is always something to strive for. Love is something that you should seek out. You should find a good man. You should find a good woman. And you should not be red-pilled by people on the internet. Black-pilled by people on the internet. So that's my message for you today. All right. See you guys later.